Lassoing a non-moving piece of plastic is one thing, but a calf coming full speed out of the chute in a roping competition, entirely different. Even more challenging, corralling Cindy DeLancey, wife, mother, attorney, ranch owner, horse breeder, rodeo promoter. Tough to get her to sit still for even a moment, but we did it. I am Peter Reese with the Code Series.
Hi, Peter.
And you are?
I'm Cindy DeLancey. I knew I wanted to be in agricultural law and represent farmers and ranchers. The opportunity that has been afforded to me in Wyoming is just immeasurable. You know, like to have the career experiences that I've had I stayed where I came from, you know, those types of opportunities were only reserved for a select few, particularly those with a last name of a Kennedy or a Rockefeller
Sure.
or a Cuomo. Or
Is it fair to say a person can come out here and kind of make their own way in the world? There's a chance to do that still?
There's 100% chance. I often tell people that Wyoming is really one of the last places where the impossible is possible. I was raised on the East Coast. I grew up in a small town called Port Jefferson, New York, which is on the North Shore of Long Island. I knew I needed to head west. I moved to
Nearly to Canada.
Yeah, it was way far away. A land that I had never seen before. But I rolled into Laramie, went to the law school. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Wyoming College of Law.
Well, we talk about the code, your code,
Yes.
and there's obviously the Code of the West from Wyoming,
Yes.
right, which was memorialized in 2010
Yes.
for the state legislature.
Yes.
But what are the things that strike you as being really important?
Oh, all of them. All of them. I often tell people who are not from Wyoming, like myself, that to read that, and that's your roadmap for success. I love them all equally,
Okay.
but really doing what needs to be done is something that I kind of gravitate towards a lot.
What's the most challenging there?
Well, I work with a lot of public officials. Sometimes the talk less, say more. It can be a challenge for some. Our relationships are of utmost importance in a state with more cattle than people. I think listening is becoming a lost art. You do what you say, you follow through, you do the very best you can. Now we're human and things don't always go the way that we want, but there's endless try applied here. And that's something that I've just always tried to instill in my children. People's connectivity is lifelong here. And that's why your reputation matters and how you conduct yourself matters.
So people help each other even if it isn't an emergency,
Yeah,
there's a flood, there's
sure,
a storm,
yeah.
there's a freeze.
Yeah, I'm saying they help each other with anything. Unfortunately, in Wyoming, we have the #1 rate of suicide, and people sometimes need help just to talk.
Oh,
and I
sure.
think that is becoming more and more acceptable in our culture.
Okay.
That particularly something that I've really strived for in the business community and in the ag/rodeo community is really helping people that are very stoic in a sense of we just dust
Okay.
our boots off and move on, to
Okay.
realize, to pump the
Okay.
brakes, to say sometimes that let's check in on each other. You know, life isn't always unicorn and rainbows, and there might be some times where you need someone to talk to.
Right, well, and that independence doesn't have to mean isolation.
Correct. My husband's family has ranched and raised horses in Wyoming for multiple generations, and he is the 3rd generation. We raise quarter horses. We started raising quarter horses over 20 years ago. We had a very lovely mare that we called Freckles, and we had the semen shipped in. We have about 20 mares now. Well, horses are such a long game, so we really don't know. We're operating on a leap of faith. The market, Peter, that we really try to strive for is what we consider to be all-around horses, meaning that they're successful in more than one event. So primarily, to your question, roping and barrel racing is really what we're breeding for, what we like to do, what we like to compete in. You know, when you have animals in your care, they don't know it's Christmas, they don't know you're sick, they don't know it's a blizzard outside. They're depending on you, and you have to do what needs to be done.
Well, and the people that have not been around agriculture, this idea of you take care of your animals take care of you, is a foreign concept, but you are clearly dependent on them and they on you.
Yeah. So we produce the Hell on Wheels Rodeo here in Cheyenne all summer. We are also the Hell on Wheels Rodeo Company, which is one of the hats that we wear. So some of the cattle that you saw meandering around back raise Corriente cattle. So that way we're able to furnish the timed event stock for the tie-down roping, the breakaway roping, and the team roping.
Competitiveness.
Very competitive.
Very competitive on the horse side, very competitive on the human side.
Yes. And they see our brand, that they know that these animals are raised with love. They've been given the very best of care, the very best of feed, the very softest hand. They know when, or at least that's my goal, is when people see DeLancey, that people know that Dave and I have poured our heart and soul into whatever it is.
What's U.S. Rodeo like these days?
So rodeo is a multi-event competition, generally 9 or 10 events: bull riding, steer wrestling, barrel racing, team roping, saddle bronc riding, bareback, a series of multiple mini events.
It's a mini Olympics.
Exactly, of high quality horses, high quality contestants, competing against each other for prize money. Do it as a family, and we often kind of laugh. We call ourselves the Von Trapps, like the Sound of Music of rodeo, because Dave's flagging, I'm pushing cattle, Reagan does the books, my son Bo's taking the ropes off. It's something that we all do together and really enjoy.
And your daughter, she went to school, a scholarship in rodeo, correct?
Yeah, she's currently a student at the University of Wyoming on rodeo scholarship, yes. And
she's a barrel person?
She runs barrels, she team ropes both ends, she heads, she heels, she breakaway rope. She does everything she can, is what she often tells people, but she's a very accomplished rider and competitor, and she's recently shared with us that she's thinking about that she'd like to go to law school at the University of Wyoming, so she can still just remain that focus. She's got that background of having her name called, She
because
does it.
The world's got to go away.
That's right.
Right, except for a very thin slice
of
what's in front of you.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I really love about rodeo is there's a place for everyone. Cowboys are very accepting and kind, and
the chute opens.
That's right. The chute opens for everyone, and I really love seeing that we have, more women. We're seeing more and more breakaway roping at the rodeos, as opposed to just women being able to compete in barrel racing. Right. There are all cowboys from all ethnic backgrounds, and I love that diversity. Everyone's equal when you're sitting in the box.
As a woman in a very traditional business, have you encountered many barriers?
I've spent my career often being the only woman at the table. And the men that I've worked with in Wyoming over time have been very accepting of me and not judgmental. I've proven that I earned that seat at the table by my capabilities and my work ethic, and that they knew that they could count on me to be, a professional colleague that would get the job done. Just to, be a leader, be kind, be thoughtful, be thorough, treat people the way that you want to be treated. If you kind of follow those principles in addition to the code of the West, whether you're a man, woman, or a Martian, you will earn your seat at the table. I often think of how boring my life would have been had I stayed on Long Island. To be married to the most wonderful person who is just my biggest supporter, and to have the family, and all that is God's doing. That you can be a kid from Long Island, New York, not know a soul, and be able to do whatever you set your mind to.
Cut. Before I start crying, I'm the crier in the family. Aren't you hungry? You worked hard today.